Hello, Tabitha Goldsmith here with Fit with Grace Coaching, and I am honored to have one of my clients, Jackie Zenhai, which is now, she just got married. So Bozart now is your last name, technically.
Yep.
So I wanted to introduce you to Jackie, and I was excited to share a piece of her story and have her share it because everyone's story is so unique and different. So I don't know if you'd want to introduce yourself, Jackie, and maybe you could share when you started with me or what drew you to reach out over all of the amazing coaches that are out there online and likely in your state in Florida.
Sure. So I really started training with you, I would say a few months ago. I was getting married and I really wanted to find a way to lose that COVID-15 that I put on and just make sure that I felt my best for my wedding. And so I was really drawn to your Instagram page because it just felt really authentic and real. And it wasn't all these pictures that seemed so unattainable or photoshopped or, just picture perfect when in reality, we all know life is not that way. And so I was just drawn to your authenticity and, it felt very relatable. And I just felt like, if you can do it and you're managing 8 kids and a business and a busy life, I was like, I can do this. So that was really what drew me to you. And so it's been a great journey ever since.
Thank you for sharing that. It always means, like, every time I hear something like that, it always touches my heart. So thank you for sharing that. I am an open book on social media and in real life. So sometimes too much.
I love that.
And you also, we actually connected. You had did the 8-week challenge also before, didn't you? That was a previous program that I had last year, maybe. Was it in 2021 that you joined?
Yep. Yeah, I had done the 8-week challenge too. And I had joined I had sort of like discovered you. I think you were like a few weeks in. And so I kind of came in the middle of it. And so I feel like I learned some good things. But I think, it wasn't until honestly, I got super serious with myself. And I think for me, the wedding was like my big motivator to be honest with myself about how much I was doing and how much I was eating. So it wasn't until then that like I really, started to see results.
I love it. Well, and I think that's true for all of us. And I think sometimes that's the hardest thing for people to understand or recognize is we have to be, it's kind of a readiness stage. We have to be ready. You can be in the stage of just kind of gathering and collecting information, putting some things to play, learning, but then we just get to make a decision and decide where we're going from here on out. We don't have to wait till Monday. We don't have to start over till next month. Or we could just say, I'm not ready to jump all in, but I'm going to get my toes wet. And I remember with the 8-week challenge, you did well, but it was different when we started preparing you for your wedding. So was anything with the idea of coaching together create any fear at all or uncertainty for you? Or were you just kind of ready for something different?
I think I was just ready for something different. And I think what you had just said about like levels of readiness, I think that was like so perfectly put. And I think, whether it's fitness or like a mental health issue or relationship issue, like I think that kind of applies. Like, you just have to be ready to like dive in if you're really gonna like solve the problem or see the results. And so I just, I had kind of like honestly dipped my toe in a few different pools, trying to figure out like what was going to be the right solution for me and what was going to work. And I think I needed coaching, because I was so unsure of myself and like what I should do and what is going to work. And I think coaching provided that reassurance because honestly, I needed a whole lot of it in the very beginning. that, what I am doing is going to work and it is the right thing for me. And the plan that I'm doing, is a good plan and is going to work.
Yeah.
And when you get those setbacks, like, it was so helpful, in the beginning when I was unsure, for you to like help me get back on the right path. I think for so many people, like weight loss and that weight loss journey is it's a delicate subject. It's an
Yep.
area where, I become very fragile because I'm just like scared that I'm going to fail or I'm not doing the right thing. So it was so helpful for you to, provide that reassurance and kind of bring me down that path. So.
And you did so good. I mean, I literally would watch when we were doing calls, the week by week shifts and you recognizing what was possible for you. It never gets old. It's so powerful.
It is.
So I just wanted to ask, you said you kind of had dipped your toe in a few other things. I'm curious, it doesn't have to be recently, but just over time, have you tried other things to lose weight or to get in shape? Have you tried other things that didn't work? What was different about this program than other things?
So and this was like years ago when like Atkins was really popular. Like I had tried that. I had success with, just a lot of like exercise and like food restriction. But of course that like didn't last because it wasn't sustainable and I don't think it was coming from the healthiest place. Paleo, like all those things that kind of like became popular.
Really trendy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But like I was just saying, like none of those are, in my opinion, super sustainable. And like there's always going to be holidays and nights out with friends and things where like you want to enjoy that food and like be able to have those experiences and still maintain a healthy lifestyle on the whole. And so I feel like that's really what I learned through this. Like I had never heard of counting macros and I really didn't know anything about what macros were even. So when I started to pay attention to the protein and the fat and the carbs that I was eating every day, it was so much easier to not be hungry and to stay on track because I was eating balance, probably for the first time in my life, just because I understood it. So I think just like having that education about food and what the contents are that you're putting in your body was like so helpful.
It does make a huge difference. And I always tell people, and with my Fit with Grace online coaching program, there are 3 phases to my flexible food approach. And 2 out of the 3 don't involve counting calories or macros. But phase 2, which is the longest phase we're in, it's very intentional, specifically for the reasons you explained. And I think macros can take a trendy direction, if you will. And sometimes people get really caught up in the overwhelm or not wanting to learn it. But after a few days, and certainly after a few weeks, you get it down and then you don't have to always track. It's creating that knowledge, like you said, and understanding what's going into your body so you can make a decision that makes sense for you and prepare and plan to enjoy an evening out without stress that you're going off track. And what if you'd be able to explain, would you say that's your biggest takeaway or shift before we worked together versus after, was kind of the understanding of fitting in those treat meals, those extra things that we enjoy, but we feel like are not the healthiest when we want to lose weight?
Right. Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway is just understanding what they are and like counting those. And then, when I do want to eat something that, maybe isn't the best, that is a treat or something special, I've learned how to shift what I'm eating throughout the day to fit that in, and it still can be within my plan. So if I want to have something that's, higher in fat or higher in carbs, if I wanted to have pizza or something at night,
Yeah.
I've just learned to shift what I'm eating in the earlier part of the day to have a lot of protein, and try to get the good stuff in, the fruits and veggies earlier, so that I have like this space to indulge later on.
Yeah. And I also want to touch on sometimes, like today, for example, my husband's gone and my kids are here, and they have been begging me last night and tonight to make chocolate chip cookies, which is a weakness of mine. I love cookie dough, but we're going to make them tonight after this. I've already used up the majority of my macros, but I don't feel stressed and anxious about it because I just made an intentional decision that I'm going to make the cookies. I will have a few. I know I can't just have one. If I tell myself I'm going to have one, that doesn't work. And then I feel like a failure if I say I can have one and I have four, well, then I'm setting myself up. So a big thing I like to teach people, and hopefully this came through to you as well, is that intentionality of decision making, and to make a decision that serves you best in the moment without the guilt and shame.
Absolutely. I think that's definitely another thing, because I would get so caught up in like feeling bad when I did eat something that, wasn't the healthiest for me. And it would like send my whole day into a tailspin. And like you said, I would end up feeling like a failure. So I had to just learn, like, it really is the mindset. Like you're not at the time, it feels like you're changing so much, but like in reality, it's just how you're thinking about things. And, you still have to be a human, and you still have to like enjoy things and have fun and like give yourself room and space to do it. And if you, intentionally give yourself those like little pockets to have that, I feel like you can stay really consistent in the long run versus deprived.
Yeah, that consistency, right? We're playing the long game. This is a long game of health. We want to be as healthy, as functional, as strong as possible until the end, right? Until we don't get that opportunity to wake up and do so. But choosing to just walk in that healthy lifestyle now, it doesn't mean cookies or no cookies, all or nothing. It means we treat our body with love and respect, and we serve it well, which means exercising, nourishing it, and sometimes it's having cookies or enjoying. So before we end, a couple more things. One, I wanted to ask, you shared a lot of really great personal experiences, but was there anything else that comes to mind that was kind of a surprising takeaway, or something that you weren't expecting that came from the coaching experience?
I honestly, I think my biggest insecurity going into it was just like, I had so much fear that I was going to fail again. And I was just so afraid it wasn't going to work, not because of anything that you ever said or did, but just because everything that I had done up until this point, like ultimately didn't work. And so like it reinforces, that fear of like, whatever I try isn't going to work. And so I think just I've learned so much like peace of mind with myself and trust with myself. And I think in the beginning, I just had to tell myself to just trust like you and the process, like,
I'm gonna make my eyes water because I know where you're going with this. We've been here before, but
yeah. I wasn't ready to trust myself. So I just had to trust you and the program and the process. And I would like trip and rely on you to like help me stand back up again. And finally, like I think after doing that and kind of like learning, I was able to start catching myself. And so I think the biggest takeaway, and like I almost am surprising myself, I think, just because I was so scared about, being confident in what I was doing was going to work, is just that I have like found that self-assurance and that self-trust. And it's still like, I know even you talk about like I think it'll probably always be a journey, and things will happen, and you'll have to kind of coach yourself, out of having a negative thought or whatever. Like they'll always try to creep back in, but I think you just get better at it. And, the more you do it, the more you, learn to catch it quickly and not let it trip you up too much.
So powerful, Jackie. I just love so much that you've shared your personal experience on trusting yourself and relying on me holding that belief in that space for you. And then you used the words you said specifically, I started to catch myself. Basically, you started to learn to have your own back. And that ripples into everything. So what the work that we do in the health and fitness arena starts here. People come to me here, but we go in, we expand out into such a larger pool, because that's what this is about. Life and health coaching is about you living your very best life, aligning yourself with the person that you are, but you just don't know how to connect. You don't know how to get there because of that lack of trust and belief in yourself. So I always say the body is kind of like a piece of Play-Doh. It's moldable and shapeable, and we can change and adjust. But I think for you specifically in our journey, I've seen such a transformation in how you see yourself. And there is no greater joy as a coach to watch that begin to happen. And you are just in the beginning, truly. You are just scratching the surface of your potential in the health and fitness arena, but just across the board, to be able to have that self-assurance, and then also to be able to course correct yourself or be okay when we hit an obstacle or fall off on anything. It doesn't even have to be diet or exercise stuff. It could just be, we had a rough day. We had a bad week, whatever it looks like. We reacted to something or someone instead of pausing and responding. We're humans with human brains. Sometimes it happens and you're still amazing. I have to tell myself that as a mom, like, I lost my head on y'all. It's okay. This is how we get, I'm hitting the restart button, and we get to continue moving forward without guilting and shaming ourselves, because that just adds a layer that we don't need to add. So I wanted to ask two more things. One, I know people are curious. Would you share your just experience or your results overall in, we just worked together. We worked together in the 8-week program, and then about 6 weeks before your wedding. And then just now you've joined the online program and are kind of getting started in that. But during that 6-week period, what happened for you? What were your results aside from the mental shifts?
I mean, the biggest, I think, results for me were, like you said, for sure, just the confidence, but I saw my body like transforming in ways that like I had never like seen or expected. Like when I see pictures of myself now, I'm so proud. Like, I've told you, like, I didn't know I never thought I could have muscles like that. And
I love getting your pictures, shoulders and biceps. That's so fun.
It's only just the beginning, and I'm a few pounds down, but as we've talked about, the body recomposition has been so big, and I've seen such a transformation in the way my clothes fit, and losing inches in my chest and my waist area like have been the biggest shifts. And so being able to put dresses on that haven't didn't used to zip, and even having things that are too loose, and I can't wear them anymore because they're too loose. And so it's just been so exciting to see those results, and to just have that reassurance and confidence that I'm doing all the right things and it's working.
It is working. And that is the hardest part. I tell people, I love the book Atomic Habits. In the beginning, there's kind of like this low valley when we first, especially with strength training, we think in our brain, I'm going to start eating healthy. I'm going to start lifting weights and doing cardio. I'm going to do all the things, and my weight's going to just drop and my body's going to change right away. But it kind of starts the opposite. It's like we just kind of coast along in the beginning, the first few weeks, especially. Then the weight starts to drop. But what happens, especially for people who are not typically consistent weightlifters or don't strength train, which everybody should be strength training. I'm a huge advocate for it. But in the beginning in particular, which is what happened to you, we increase that lean muscle mass and we're decreasing body fat. So your weight is down a few pounds, but you can see in pictures the shifts and changes in the photos and also in your clothes, you said, which is a huge indicator. The scale is just one tool. We have lots of tools to manage and monitor. So I think it's so cool to see. You are absolutely on track, and it will just, you'll continue to transform from here. So I'm excited to watch you. So to end, I said that I was going to keep this short, and I never can keep it short because I just love this. But will you share, if there's anything, is there anything that you would share for somebody who is maybe thinking about joining the program or is just not sure, maybe they don't have that confidence in themselves yet? What might you share with them?
Just do it. Honestly,
Like Nikki.
Like you have to, if you're going to like give yourself one gift and do one thing for yourself this year, or maybe it's the first thing like you've done for yourself in a long time or ever, like do this for yourself, because it not only like just transforms the way that you think every day, and for me just feeling like lighter and happier, just because I just feel good about myself. But I think like you can take a lot of the things that you learn through coaching and apply them to other things. So like if you have a misstep at work or a bad day or something happens, you kind of use the same tools to talk yourself out of, when you didn't work out that day or didn't follow your plan or, overeat or whatever. You can use the same tools that you use and learn for that for other like parts of your life. So I just feel like, it's something that is so powerful, and it's worth the time and the effort and the money to give yourself that gift. And we only have one short time on this earth, so I feel like it's so important to just do something for you, and to if you're going to be here, why not be happy and confident and feel great about yourself every day. So if you're waffling or you're not sure, like I would just tell anyone to just dive in, and just, if you can't trust yourself and you're scared, like trust the program and trust Tabitha, and just show up just every day and try, and amazing things are going to happen.
Oh, you are so sweet. That's like a billboard. Thank you. That means a lot, Jackie. Well, I appreciate you. I'm so grateful that you were willing to do this and step out and join me on this journey. And I'm just excited to continue cheering you on through this, because like I said, this is really just scratching the surface. So thank you so much, Jackie. I'm going to stop recording. Bye-bye.